As a certified personal trainer, my clients often ask for ways that they can stay in shape while traveling for work or on vacation. I'm using a flat band and a booty band, but feel free to use a tubing with handles or the long loop band. We'll be alternating between blocks of cardio movements that are low impact so you can do them in an apartment or a hotel room without disturbing people around you, and standing band work and floor band work. These movements are beginner friendly. So if you're just coming back to fitness or illness or injury, this is a perfect workout to get you started. Okay, are you ready to get started? I have a booty band and a flat band. Okay, so you can use a handle band with tubing or a loop band, one of the long, looks like a giant rubber band. All you need is space of your mat, or it could be a beach towel, a bath towel, something like that. If it feels like you need a little more cushion for your feet, and we're going to be going down to the floor at the end. Okay, so let's do a quick warm up and then we'll get started on our first cardio. Okay, so feet about hip width apart, bend those knees, and just give me a twist side to side, letting those heels come up. We're going to work the whole body today. So everything is low impact, so feel free if you want to add impact, you can do that. All right, reach across, extend out a little bit more. Trying to get that lower back warm, the hips. Get the shoulders warmed up. All right, 4 more. 3, 2, 1, and side to side. Bend those knees. And then reach over. And then side bend again. Okay, reach over. Side bend. Bring it up. Take one arm forward and one arm back. One arm back, circle, open up, and then go forward with the arms. Really reach as far as you can. 4 more. Give me a squat. Just getting the body warm. So really sit back. Just a couple more. Last one. Come down, straighten the legs. Straighten. Feel those hamstrings warm up. Keep that back nice and flat. You don't have to go far. 2 more. Last one. All right, one knee out, then the other. Knee out, circle out. But what I love about workouts like this is if you're traveling, I never carry a big suitcase. I try to fit everything in a carry-on. So I try to take a band with me whenever I travel so that I can, do something simple, especially if I don't have a lot of space. Give me a leg curl. Pull up, pull up. We'll be doing curls in this workout, so get the heel to your butt. Want to warm up the hamstrings. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, are you ready for the first block of cardio? We're going to start with simple moves. This is a beginner-friendly workout, so feel free to amp these up, add impact and intensity if you like. I'm trying to keep it more low impact, so if you're in a hotel room, maybe on an upper floor, you don't want people getting mad that you're banging on their ceiling, right? Okay, so our first move, we're going to do 3 step touches and a calf raise. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, up on the toes. 1, 2, 3. Bend those knees. So you see how you could easily make this easier or harder. You can step wider, you can jump it. We're going to do about a minute. We'll be doing 4 moves in this block, and then we'll put them together. Up. So step wide. This helps to warm up our body as well for the band work we have coming. Up. Get up on that toe. Want to warm up that calf. Nice. Up. All right, you got about 10 seconds. All right, one more. And rest, quick rest. So we got 3 alternating knees. 1, 2, 3, and then switch. Okay? Don't think about it too much. Ready? And go. Step knee, step knee, step knee, march, march. So really lift up, lift up. Now, if taking your arms over your head is too intense, you could always take the arms forward. Anytime you take your arms over your head, heart rate's gonna go higher. Remember, you could go up on the toes, make that a little more intense. More muscles you're involving, higher the heart rate. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes when I travel, especially if there's a time zone change, really messes with me. I'm very sleep sensitive. So sometimes just getting up and moving helps a lot. Okay, one more. Quick rest. So we got a squat, toe tap, toe tap. You ready? That's all it is. And go. Squat, tap, tap. Sit back. It's up to you how deep that squat is. You could be moving slower or faster than I am. I deliberately didn't choose beat-specific music so that you can move at your own pace. Especially if you're newer to working out or you're coming back from injury or illness, you got to take your time. You got to ease in. A lot of times we get super excited, motivated. We're like, I'm going to do it this time. Coming back to exercise, we're just starting out and we overdo it. Burn ourselves out. Remember, ease in. Enjoy the process as much as you can. Time. Okay, last move. This one, you have options. I'm going to cross back. So you could stay up here, higher, or go deeper. All right, go. So make sure that front knee and toe line up. I'm going to call this a cross back. It's also kind of like a curtsy lunge. Remember, you could be higher, higher. Now, anytime you need a rest, please take it. You could go deeper. You could add power. You could go wider. Take advantage of whatever space you've got. You could reach both arms. How you doing? Are you feeling anything? Heart rate up? Breathing? Maybe you've broken a sweat. Just remember, just because you sweat more doesn't mean you burn more calories. I know, they seem like they're correlated, but they're not. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we are going to move on to our first block of band. Okay, so we're going to grab our long band, handle band. If you've got one with tubing, that's totally fine too. So I'm going to fold mine in half to create more tension here. And I want you to do a test before we start this. I want you to take one arm and pull. If it's here and there's slack, when you bring it in, it means it's too loose. So you can adjust as you go, okay? But just kind of do a little test. So I'm going to have my hands about this far apart. Really depends on your band and your strength. Okay, so we're going to combine a reverse lunge and a pull down. I'll show you. You're going to always go in the direction of the front knee. So I'm going to stay at the end of my mat, step back. One arm up, opposite arm, I pull back, bending that elbow and up, and then I switch sides. So I'm creating that tension with this upper arm here. Okay, are you ready? Let's go. 1 minute. Pull that elbow back. Now, if you find it's not enough tension, then grab closer together on that band. You're also working the arm that's straight. You're working the tricep and the shoulder. Pull back, pull back, back. I'm doing it the wrong way. And up. I know what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3. Now, if it's like messing with your head, doing 2 different things at once, just kind of step back. Doesn't have to be a lunge. I'm just trying to incorporate more muscle groups at the same time. 2, 3. And if you mess up the arms and you're on the same arm as the leg, it's okay as long as you can do that movement. 2, 3, and come up. All right, so we have some balance work. How'd you do with that? Now you can see why that wouldn't work with a dumbbell, right? Because there's going to be no tension on that pull down. And we're trying to work back of the shoulder, the bicep, and a little bit of lat. Okay, so we've got one leg balance. So I have one foot on. I have my right leg, so it should be your left. We're going to do everything on this side first. Okay, so make sure that the band is even on both arms. And you're going to go bicep, overhead, down. Now see, I'm balancing on one leg. If you're really struggling with the balance part, just put your toe back lightly so we can really think about that front leg. Now again, your bicep or your shoulder, depends on you, might be stronger. You can always make it add a little tightness by grabbing closer to that anchor point, which is where your foot is. Okay? Up. Keep those shoulders away from your ears. Working the shoulders, working the upper chest, working the biceps. And that standing leg. Okay, almost there. We're not going to switch legs yet, so don't get ahead of me now. And all right. All right, so we're going to keep a grip on this side of the band, but test it, okay? Because this one's tough. Like I said, we're only going to work this arm, the leg, the arm, okay? So I want you to go up and around, up and back. You don't want it so tight you can't get that elbow up. It's not about your hand, okay? All right. So once you can always adjust it as you go. Just step off, give yourself a little bit of slack or less, depending on how it feels, and go. Up and around, up and back. So it helps with your balance to find a spot on the floor to look at. If you look around, that's going to throw your balance off. But if you want more challenge, that's totally fine. You can even close your eyes if you want. You go. Up and back, up and forward. Working through the shoulder. And of course, that standing leg. We're going to be doing plenty of legs here in a bit. Got 10 seconds. And this one, I'm going to do it turned in grip. So my thumb is in, my palm is in, and I have a staggered stance. I'm going to shift back into that leg and press back with the arm. Shift back. And then you should feel a nice strong stretch in the hamstring and your glute. Just make sure you're not rounding your back. Keep those shoulders back. So you're really pressing back. That's going to get the triceps and the back of the shoulder, a little bit of upper back. Press back. So see how my hips, they shift back. I don't just bend, I shift back because I want to work that hamstring. All right, you got about 10 seconds. Press back. One more. All right, so now we gotta flip it to the other side. So I'm on my left, you are right. We got that single leg balance, bicep overhead. So even it up, make sure it's pretty balanced, right? You can tap that toe, but put most of the weight in that standing leg. Okay, here we go. Bicep, up, down, up. Now, if you get to the bottom of this and see how I have some slack in that band, unless that's super challenging for you, that's fine. Up. Try to keep those shoulders away from your ears, so don't bunch them up by your ears. So working that balance at the same time because the band wants to pull you. That's why I like incorporating both. Okay? Give me one more. And down. Now we got that front raised circle. So again, if you need to adjust, do a test. Okay? I don't want you going really high. Just shoulder height. Ready? Go. Up and around. Up and back. Up and around, up and back. Notice where you feel it. Things like the bottom of your foot, the arch of your foot, around the knee, in the hip. Things to be aware of. That's the weakest link, basically, in that exercise. That means that is working harder than it's used to. One more. You're like, yeah, obvious, Captain Obvious. Okay, we've got that RDL or staggered stance RDL. Thumbs in, palms in. Make sure you have switch sides, right? You have switch sides. Make sure you shift back, and in. Flat back. Now, a lot of times what I see is people go too far. They think deeper is better, but if your back rounds, it's not better. You need to be able to keep a neutral spine. So you're pressing back with those arms. That way you get the triceps and the back of the shoulder. Should feel the hamstring shifting that weight back. Press back. And you may have one side that is more mobile or flexible than the other. That's definitely the case for me. Like I said, if you're coming back from injury, use a lighter tension band, or I would recommend using some kind of resistance. But you can always start off with lighter resistance. This is a heavier resistance band. Usually you can order them and they come in multiple, like light, medium, heavy, extra heavy. One more. Okay, put that down. We're going to our second block of cardio. This is the last block of cardio. So we've got a knee, a kick, and a knee, and a march. Knee, as long as you're switching sides. So knee, kick, knee, knee, kick, knee. Don't think too hard. Ready? Go. Knee, kick, knee, march. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you wanted to make that bigger and add impact, you could jog that in between instead of marching. You can always modify by making your movement smaller. Okay? We're just moving here. When you kick back, especially if you kick back higher, make sure you offset by tipping forward so you don't arch that low back, okay? You're almost done. So don't arch that back. I see that often with people. Okay. One more. Okay. So we have taps, and then we'll go diagonal, diagonal, like an X, like half of an X. All right? 4 of each. Don't worry too much about it. Just move your arms, okay? Go. Tap. 2, 3, 4. Side, 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 side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Side, side. Now I'm going a certain speed. You could be going faster. You could be going slower. Smaller range of motion, bigger range of motion. You could make this a jack instead of a toe tap. You want to intensify it. Reach that toe out. Pull back. Trying to use that upper back. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. How you doing? Are you warmed up yet? Okay. Squeeze back. Okay, we have time for one more set of each. Back, 2, 3, 4, diagonal. Okay, so we have a little side squat. Squat, squat. You could go faster, higher, but I want you to push out. Okay, and go. Squat, squat. Now, too much with the squat, do that toe tap again. Okay, you can do that. Deeper, knees and toes turned out. That's going to be easier to get deeper without using that lower back. Put that foot down gently. Press out, press out. You could always take the arms out. Remember, that adds intensity. So if you need to dial it down a little bit, you could just be doing this. Just make sure you keep moving and get water whenever you need to. Step out, step out. How are you feeling? Are we still friends? I hope so. If we're not friends right now, I hope we're friends at the end. I've trained people, and they've called me some vile names. And then at the end, they're like, you know what? I didn't mean any of that, right? I know. You just hated me in that moment. 4, 3, 2, 1. One more move. Easy. One move. Tip forward, swing that leg. Swing. Swing. All right, go. So, hinging from the hip. I wanted to get a hinge in there. You could always make your arm smaller. Okay, what I don't want you to do is throw your leg up there. Control. Think about lifting from the glute. The glute lifts that leg. Abs in to support your low back because you're in that hinge position. Up. Extend out. Extend out. So often movements involve a lot of front of the body, like knee lifts, kicks. So we want to make sure we balance that movement with back of the body. I know a lot of times, even in like strength training, we focus on the muscles we can see in the mirror and the ones that we're like, I wish I could tone that up. And then we focus on those muscles. But you have to balance front, back, okay, side and side. One more. And quick rest. We're going to put those 4 moves together. Also remember, and I said the word that every trainer hates, and that's tone. Just know, you'll see that a lot on YouTube titles, tone up. I see it a lot in videos, toning up, okay? I'll come back to that. So it's knee, kick, knee, switch. Knee, kick, knee. Okay, start. I'll tell you when it's time to change moves. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to count because I don't want to throw you off if you're moving at a different speed than I am. Just remember, you cannot spot reduce fat. No matter what anyone says on YouTube. It's not going to happen. So I've seen, unless you're just like absolute beginner, like doing moves like this. Okay, keep going. is not going to make your arms slimmer, okay? I wish. Believe me, all trainers wish that were true. Okay, all right, here comes that tap. Here, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's not how the body works, unfortunately. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back, back, squeeze back. Just know that where you gain fat faster or first and the last to come off is largely genetic. And it can also be hormonal. So women going into perimenopause, menopause, will find that they start to gain a little more fat here. Some of that could be visceral or intra-abdominal, underneath the skin. And that's diet, okay? I should say nutrition. Diet is like a bad word, isn't it? Okay, one more. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Push. I'm running my mouth too much. Ready? Go. Push out. Now, remember, you could be here. You could be here. You don't have to squat it. You could go slower. I know, I had COVID last year, something like that. Whoa, that was tough to come back from. It took a good week and a half before I even started to feel normal with my cardio fitness, and I didn't even get it that bad. It was mostly just complete and utter fatigue. That was the most fatigue I've ever felt in my life. Even after having a baby and you don't sleep for 3 months, it was just like, I can't even stand up. Okay. So give yourself time. 3, 2, 1. I would say the number one mistake that I see, I've worked with hundreds of clients at this point, maybe more, I don't know, is impatience. Not being patient. Tip forward. All right, go. They want it to happen yesterday. I get it. I totally get it. When you're not happy with how you feel or how you look or both, you want that to change as soon as possible. But when you let that impatience get in the way of you actually making positive changes, you're like, it's not happening fast enough. I'm going to change what I'm doing. Or I give up. Don't give up. All right? Just don't go to extremes. Remember, fitness is lifelong. This is not something you're going to do and change your body, lose the weight, and then go back to what you were doing, because you're going to end up in the same place. You're going to end up right back where you were. Remember, abs in, support that back. You want to make sure whatever nutrition plan that you use for yourself is something that you will continue to use, but with more calories. You don't want to stay in a perpetual diet. One more. Okay, last block. This is on the floor. We're going to use the long band and the booty band. The booty band doesn't have to be used if you don't have one. Totally fine. We're going to sit. Okay, we're almost done. This is the last block of work. So I'm going to wrap this around my feet. Make sure it's secure. Like sometimes I'll work out barefoot, but with a band, I don't. Unless my feet are sticky. That sounds disgusting. No, you don't want it to slide off and hit you in the face, right? Now that I've unlocked a new fear for you. Sit up really tall, and you may have to adjust where you grab that band. You're going to pull back. You're going to pull up. Go back so it's low, and then higher. Back, so low row, high row. You're also working your core, your abs, your low back. Remember, the core is not just abs. It's all the muscles that attach to that lumbar spine. Deep hip muscles, abdominal muscles. Oops, I did extra. I'm so extra. That's me. So, of course, you could have your legs straighter or more bent. Straighters, you might feel your low back a little bit more. more tension on the hamstring. So it's nice to have a bent knee. You could be sitting in a chair and doing this. Now, please don't just pull the arms. Remember, squeeze back. Think about retracting, releasing, retracting, releasing. Pull back. Now my shoulders go back and forth. Okay, that way I'm getting that upper back, not just my biceps. It's important to work. Remember, you got to work those back muscles as well as those front muscles. Okay, I want you to bring it back. Hold, 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 hold. Okay, nice job. All right, so put that aside. Now we got to push up. We got to work the chest somehow, right? You're like, no. You could always take the band and do a chest press, okay? Laying on your back. I'll show that to you right here. Okay, so we're going to flip over and we're going to do our push-ups. And you could just do push-ups. You could do full push-ups, knee push-ups. But we're also going to add that knee in just to work the abs a little bit more, the core. Spread your fingers. Modified push-up, of course, is knees, and then come down, and then come up. Or you could do a full push-up, come down, and come up. Now, see how I had to drop my knees? I had a shoulder injury, so I'm coming back from that. And if that's the case for you, you could do that chest press that I showed you, or do that knee push-up, and start working your way up in strength. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down, up, out, knee in, and come down. Down, up, knee in, drop those knees. So if you're doing a full push-up, you do not have to drop the knees. So, on the push-up, make sure your hands are here. They're not up here in front of your face, like here. Sometimes I'll see people doing this and their elbows are flared out. You want them pretty close to your side. So come forward, up, knee in, knee in. We got time for 2 more, I think. All right. Okay, so we're going to flip back over and we're going to use our long band and our booty band simultaneously. Take that band, that booty band. So remember, if you don't have the booty band, I just like saying booty band. Booty band. I know, I'm obnoxious. Okay, put it just above the knee. If your band is super tight, heavy resistance, slide it up higher so you're able to open those knees. We're going to use this as an anchor. So I want you to lay down. Get my hair out of the way. My hair is down because I just didn't feel like shellacking it down with hairspray. I really hate putting stuff in my hair. All right. So I'm going to anchor this to the floor. So you might feel your triceps. Right now, we're not so much worried about this. So do a test rep and you can adjust how much tension you're putting on this anchor here. Okay, make sure it's going across your lower ab area, across the hips. Ready and go. Now, if this is already a difficult exercise for you, don't add the band. That's just more resistance that you're adding. Drive down into the heels and squeeze your glutes at the top. So keep that tension up. And you want enough tension, which is why I doubled up my band so that there's no slack in the band at any point. Up, down, up, down. Now, if you start to get tired with that resistance, you can just release that, okay? Up. Or you can move your hands outward to the ends of the band. Less resistance. You'll probably feel it more at the top and less at the bottom. Of course, that's going to be the case either way, but really squeeze those hips under. Kind of tilt your pelvis under. Keep your abs pulled in. Up. Drive into both heels evenly. I feel that. Up and up. Okay, so we're going to use the booty band and this anchor. Anchor's optional now. So you're going to go up, press outward, in, down. If you don't feel tension, step your feet farther apart. And then down. So now we're working abduction at the top, taking away from the midline. I'm going to go up, out, in, down, up, out, in, down. Now see, I kind of let it go because I'm really feeling that. Up, out, in, down. I'm going to add that resistance back in. You could do that if it's really starting to burn and it's affecting your form, especially if it's affecting your form. Reduce the resistance a little bit, take a little bit of break while still moving, and then you could add that resistance back in. Okay, one more. Really squeeze up, out, in, down. Okay, you can keep this where it is. We're going to do one move for the abs before we do more glute work. Yay. Okay, so take the arms over your head, put tension on it, outward tension. There we go. And pull those shoulders down away from your ears. You're gonna come up and down. It's a crunch. You're like, really? Now, here's a little trick. If your neck tends to bother you, put it across the crown of your head. And that can assist. Especially if you tend to feel your neck a lot when you crunch. A lot of times people will pull on their head when they crunch, but you want to keep your neck neutral. I don't even know if they still make these. They used to have like infomercials where it was like cradling your head as you crunched. But remember, the muscles in the neck are just like any other muscle in your body. You need to strengthen them. But I understand, I don't want it to be a distraction from the movement. I'm just having fun with that one. And bring it back. And see, another option is to bring it forward. Keep that outward tension on the band. That's easier when you bring it forward. Give me one more. And good. Okay. Set that down. You're going to lay onto one side. I have my right hip down. I bet you can guess what we're going to do. Can you guess? Okay. So there's two movements. Okay? You may have to move this around. You can hug yourself here or here, pat yourself on the back. This is harder than this. Okay? So you're gonna come up and then you're gonna go down. The main thing is straightening and bending. Straighten and bend. Okay? So you're like, what are we doing with this? Don't worry, I got you. Up and down. Remember, if you're struggling, it's really about positioning, okay? Kind of move that around. Now, if this is not something you can do at this point, you could do a band version of this. Anchor, okay? Anchor, and then up and bend. Up and bend, just like that, okay? That's always an option too. Okay, so up. Make sure you got enough cushion for your hip. One more. And relax that upper body. Okay, starting to regret my hairstyle choices. Okay, bend the bottom knee. All right, and then lift, lower, lift, lower. Again, depending on how much tension is in that band. Notice I have my toe down. I don't want you to be back here and lifting here. If you're feeling right up here into that hip flexor, tilt your body forward. Think of that top hip more forward than the bottom hip, like you're going to roll over, okay? You should almost feel like you have to put this hand here or you will roll over. And then you lift and lower, because I want you to feel it in here. Yeah, do you feel it there? Up. How you doing? How you doing? Okay, I want you to go up and hold. Pause, pause, pause and down. Pause, pause, pause and down. A couple more. And one more. And nice. Okay, hands and knees. So remember what side you did. That was my right side down. I'm going to tuck this underneath my right knee. So your left knee, if you're matching me, as long as you're on the same side, okay? And then you're going to kick back and in. Kick back and in. If it's more comfortable, you can come down on the opposite elbow. For some people that feels better. They also feel like they can get higher. If it feels like you can't get very high because there's too much tension, remember, slide that band up. You could do that. Or even take the band off. Just do body weight. If that's challenging enough for you, just moving your leg against gravity. Up, pause, and down. So you should be working into that glute. Hamstrings working a little bit there. Lower back. Of course, because we're supported, working the shoulders and the chest. Just a little. Just supporting you. And, all right, so now we're going to the other side. We're almost done. This is it. This is the end. The end. Okay, we got that tricep exercise. You're like, yay, I was hoping she'd forget. I didn't. You know why? Because I like that one. I'm in the minority, I know. Okay, again, make sure you got enough cushion for your hip, and up and down. Press up. See how I kind of moved my hand? I find where I have better leverage because I want this to bend. I want it to straighten. Straighten. How are you feeling? You could be here if you want more challenge. Just shifts more body weight you're lifting. Okay, you could be doing that lying tricep extension. Give me one more. And relax. Okay, tilt your hips. Ugh. How do people work out with their hair down? You ever see those older videos where they are like all make-upped up? Sometimes they even have jewelry on, hair's all down. How do they do that? Okay, tip forward, can't do it. And lift, lower. Remember, you can slide that band up. You want to feel it here, not here. Lift. Yeah, I bend that bottom leg feels better. So you're going slightly back. Give your neck some support here. I had someone who used to take my classes and she would roll up her towel and make a little pillow. And we made the joke that she needed to invent and market fitness class pillows for just such a thing, and it could have motivational phrases on it. $1 million idea right there. I don't think it is. Okay, one more. Okay, hands and knees. Hey, if you invent that, reach out to me. I'll buy one, okay? I will buy one. All right, now anchor that. This is the last exercise. Spread your fingers, distribute the weight through your wrists, and back, and in. Tap that knee, back, and in. Choose resistance, whether that's weight, or it could be bands if that's all you've got. That challenges you. And by the end, I mean, if you're able to do like more than like 30 reps and you could keep going, but you just don't feel like it, it's too little resistance to make a difference, okay? It's going to be more endurance cardio based. And we tend to focus so much on body fat and not enough on muscle. You can be under muscled, and that's over fat. Under-muscled. But remember, your muscle, one more, is your resiliency. That's your strength, especially as you age. You need that resiliency. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Check this out for a quick 7-minute stretch if you'd like to cool down and stretch. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye.